hear the wind in the trees very gently blowing as I wake up in my tent. The light is streaming through the thin, light gray walls. And I smile to think that that wind is actually blowing through palm trees. Over my head, there are a few shadows from the palm branches. Long, flowing, leafy shadows, swaying. And the breeze again swishes through them and they shake the shadows even more. I take a deep breath and let it out. I smile to think it is another day of vacation. And here I am in Florida, far away from the cold. It's often 100 degrees warmer here than back at home. And I stretch on my cot. I reach down and I feel the quilt covering my body that has so many special memories attached to it. It's my sister's graduation quilt made by our grandma. And she chose not to go out and get new fabrics like the other cousins did, but she asked Grandma for the scraps of all the previous cousins' quilts, so she can point out which one belongs to which cousin, and we have our favorites. There's just the joy of seeing them all mixed together in a scrap quilt, log cabin style, as Grandma did all of our graduation quilts. And there are so many memories from sitting around the quilt frame in Grandpa and Grandma's basement. Grandpa kept the fire stoked in the fireplace. Sometimes the clock was ticking on the mantle, and now that very clock is ticking on our mantle at home. And as we sat together with Grandma and aunts, we hand-stitched and talked and saw the quilt get smaller and smaller, rolled up as we reached in and worked our way towards the center. But the quilt is getting kind of warm already because mornings warm up fast when the sun is shining here in Florida. So I flip it back, I reach for my glasses and put them on. I sit up and stretch again. Oh, it just feels good to be alive. I grab my robe and put it around myself. Zip open the tent flap, slip into my flip-flops. Zip it shut behind me, and then I stand up tall and take a deep breath of the fresh morning air. I smell some dew on the weeds under the trees. There aren't many grasses here. But off to the edge of our campsite, across a mown area and across a gravel road, I see the grasses. Just as the hill dips down into a valley towards the river that I know is there, I see more and more palm trees reaching up. And I see the birds swirling overhead and some of them landing in the trees. Kind of a mist in the distance. I head for the camper where I can use the bathroom, brush my teeth, get ready for the day, and get some breakfast together. I know today I have planned to go to the beach, and other than that, there's not a lot of plans. I just smile as I open the screen door. It was actually warm enough for that. Never got too cold for my parents inside the camper. Dad is already out on his bike, probably with his camera somewhere. He was probably looking for some scrub jays. That is a goal of mine this time, to see scrub jays. The pictures of them are so beautiful. They're so colorful. And they can be friendly. Mom had one land on her finger one time. That would be a fun thing to have as well. But here I have gotten my face washed, my teeth brushed. I put together in my mug some collagen and cocoa and salt, vanilla. I grabbed the hot water pot. Used to be a coffee pot, but the percolator didn't work, so we took that out. I pour in water, grab the lighter, and bring it out to the camp stove on the picnic table. It's so much more fun to cook outside whenever we can. So first thing, I get that water heating. Heading back inside, I grab a kettle and oats and measure in my water and grab a dash of salt. Again, I head out to the camp stove, grabbing my Bible as I head past the shelf, and I start cooking my oats on low. Then I sit down at the picnic table with its vinyl tablecloth and open up my Bible and look for the psalm for the day. It's the 27th, and I smile because I love Psalm 27. And I sit down and rest my forearms on the table and start reading aloud to myself. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? I have time to read through the whole psalm before I hear the bubbling on the stove and go over to stir my oats. And then I hear the water boiling in the coffee pot, so I pour that into my mug and stir the ingredients together. Heading back into the camper, I grab some raisins and some sunflower seeds, the jug of maple syrup, and my bowl and spoon, and head back out to eat breakfast. After breakfast, I get an idea of what the day's going to be like. Pretty warm and sunny, so I head into the tent and pull on my swimsuit and my comfy flowing linen dress over the top of it. I grab my cap and sunglasses and the bag that I'm going to pack for the beach. In there I put sunscreen, water, apple, meat stick. I also grab a book. I know not to bring my knitting to the beach because it gets too sticky from the salt water in the air. But I grab a towel, a nice big one to be able to lay on if I want. And I think I'm about ready to go. I ask if anyone else wants to go to the beach this morning, and my sister says, sure, I'll come along. So she's already been up and getting ready too. She adds some things to my bag. We say goodbye to Mom, who's reading in the camper. And we grab the keys and get in the car and pull out of our campsite. As we pull past the different campsites, we see some people out cooking their breakfasts, some relaxing in their chairs, some walking or biking along the paved loop. We smile and wave.